What if the best revenge is no revenge at all? What if the quietest man in the room, unbothered, unreadable, unshaken, was the one who haunted her thoughts the longest? You're watching this because she's gone. Maybe she left without warning. Maybe she said she needed space. Maybe she found someone else. Whatever the excuse was, one thing is certain. She made a decision. She believed you'd wait. She believed you'd break. She expected to stay in your orbit while exploring her options. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Most women don't expect men to rise after heartbreak. They expect weakness. They expect the crying texts, the late-night apologies, the "I miss you" calls. And that's why you're going to do none of it. You're not here to win her back. You're here to become the man she can never reach again. This is not about games. This is about discipline. This is about transforming the raw pain in your chest into a weapon, sharper than words, colder than silence, stronger than any emotional outburst. You don't rise by reacting. You rise by mastering yourself. This is Stoicism for men, not the watered-down, emotionless stereotype. This is real Stoicism, the kind forged in suffering, in heartbreak, in silence. A Stoic man doesn't suppress pain. He studies it. He lets it burn, then uses the ashes as armor. In the next 10 steps, I'll walk you through exactly what to do after she leaves, how to rebuild yourself into something unrecognizable, and how to let your absence destroy her far more than your presence ever could. It's not about revenge. It's about resurrection. If you walk this path, you will not be the same man who watched her walk away. You will be better, stronger, and most importantly, untouchable. If you're done being a prisoner to your emotions, if you're ready to lead with power, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is my strength. Number 1. Feel the blow, but don't break. Let it hit you, all of it. Don't flinch, don't run. The late-night silence where her voice used to live. The gut punch you feel when you wake up and remember she's not coming back. The way your chest tightens when you see her name pop up in your memory like an unwanted ghost. Don't lie to yourself. Don't act like it doesn't hurt. It does. And that's okay. Pain is part of being alive. It's proof you cared. Proof you showed up with your whole heart. But here's the difference. A weak man lets the pain consume him. A stoic man lets it shape him. You don't need to scream into your pillow. You don't need to get drunk and text her. You don't need to find a rebound to distract yourself. All of that? That's avoidance. That's fear. That's you saying, I can't handle this. But you can. Sit in it. Let the sadness move through your body like a storm, but don't let it flood your mind. When your thoughts start spinning, when you feel that urge to beg for closure or explain yourself, breathe. That's the moment you build strength. Not in pretending to be okay, but in choosing not to collapse. And look, your mind is going to fight you. It's going to throw her highlights on loop, the good mornings, the way she used to smile, the way she made you feel seen. But remember this, the mind is a liar when it's wounded. It will romanticize the person who hurt you just to avoid the pain of letting go. Don't trust the nostalgia. Trust the facts. She left. She chose herself. And now, so do you. This isn't about becoming numb. It's about becoming disciplined. Real Stoicism isn't emotionless. It's emotionally mastered. You still feel. You still hurt. But you no longer bleed for someone who walked away. That's the shift. You take the punch, but you don't fall. You feel the blow, but you don't break. This is where the path begins. This is how you become the man she didn't expect. The one who turned heartbreak into horsepower. Number 2. Go ghost, not just quiet. Disappear, not halfway, not on and off, not checking her story just to see if she misses you. Go ghost. Total blackout. Because the most powerful thing you can do after a breakup is not speak, it's vanish, not to make her chase you, not as a manipulation tactic, but because silence is your boundary now. And boundaries are where a man draws the line between his past and his power. Let her wonder. Let her sit in the silence she created. The moment you stop reacting, stop chasing, stop reaching out just to check in, you flip the script. You're no longer the wounded one. You're no longer the backup plan. You become the mystery. And mystery to the human mind is a slow burn. It makes people spiral. See, she expected access. Even after leaving, she counted on emotional rent still being free. She thought she'd still live in your head, your inbox, your energy. Cut that off instantly. Not out of anger, out of self-respect. No contact isn't just about ignoring her. It's about recentering you. It's a declaration that your peace is no longer up for negotiation, that her confusion is not your concern, that your silence isn't pettiness, it's clarity. You're not here to argue. You're not here to explain why you deserved better. You're done writing paragraphs to someone who chose to leave. Let her talk to the void. And yes, this will be hard. Every part of you will want to break the silence. You'll hear that little voice. Just one message. Just be the bigger person. Don't fall for it. That voice is addiction. It's the withdrawal of attachment trying to suck you back into a loop. Resist it. Starve it. Because every day you stay silent, your value multiplies, your control sharpens, and she feels it more than you think. So disappear. Not because you're weak, but because vanishing is what strength looks like when it's focused on healing, not hurting. Number 3. Let her memory die of starvation. Stop feeding it. Every time you scroll through old messages, every time you replay that one moment she smiled at you, every time you go back to her Instagram to see if she's moved on, you're feeding the ghost. And as long as you keep feeding it, it will keep haunting you. A memory only survives if you give it attention. Cut off the supply and it dies. This is the next level of your detachment. Starve the memory. Delete the pictures. Archive the chats. Mute her accounts. You don't need to block her if you're not angry, but you do need to create digital distance, because your mind craves familiarity when it's hurt, and she's still wired into your system. That's not love, that's a habit, and habits don't break with willpower, they break with removal. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. You're not erasing her because she was meaningless. You're removing her because she's no longer relevant. And don't lie to yourself by saying, "I just want to see if she's okay." She's not your responsibility anymore. She forfeited that the moment she walked. If she's struggling, that's her path. If she's thriving, that's none of your business. Either way, watching her life is a trap, because what you see will never bring you peace. It will either make you hopeful or it'll make you hurt. Neither helps. You need to step back far enough to forget the details. Let her image blur. Let the sound of her voice fade. That's not cold. That's survival. Right now, your mind is a battlefield, and she's the echo bouncing off every wall. But echoes fade when you stop calling into the void. So stop feeding the memory. Let it wither. Let it die. You don't need to hate her. You just need to outgrow her. Number 4. Become unrecognizable. This is where the shift happens. This is where you stop surviving the breakup and start using it. You want to mess with her head. You want her to spiral in silence, checking your page, asking herself if she ever really knew you. Then become unrecognizable. Let the man she left die, and rebuild a version so focused, so disciplined, so elevated, that she wouldn't even know how to approach you now. Not because you're pretending to be someone else, but because you finally became who you were, too distracted to be. The gym? It's not about muscles. It's about reclaiming control. Waking up early? Not just productivity. It's proof you answer to no one but yourself now. New goals? New moves? That's the byproduct of a man who stopped orbiting a woman's approval and started orbiting his own purpose. You want a physique she can't ignore. Build it. You want presence that turns heads. Cultivate it, but do it in silence. Don't post every workout. Don't flex for attention. Let your transformation happen in the shadows. Because when she sees you again, if she sees you again, it should hit like a freight train. Quiet, powerful, undeniable. Understand this. Growth is the one thing she never thought you'd actually do. She expected stagnation. She thought she'd always have the upper hand because you'd always be that same guy. She was banking on you being predictable. Shatter that expectation. Let your success mock the old version of you that begged for her love. Let your evolution speak for itself. This isn't revenge. This is reinvention. Not to get her back, but to never need her again. Number 5. Control the frame always. Never explain yourself. Never justify. Never chase clarity from someone who gave you chaos. The moment you start defending your worth, you've already lost the frame. In every interaction, before, during, and especially after the breakup, the frame is everything. It's the silent power dynamic that tells her whether you're leading or following. A stoic man always controls the frame, even in silence. Especially in silence. If she reaches out, don't rush to reply. Don't light up like a dog waiting for crumbs. Take your time. Breathe. Read it like a chess move, not a lifeline. Understand this. Her message isn't always about you. It might be boredom. It might be guilt. It might be control. You don't owe her your reaction. If you choose to reply, do it from calm, not emotion. Short, clear, director. No flirting, no nostalgia. No walking back into a house that already burned down. And if she tries to argue, stay grounded. Arguments are bait. If you bite, she controls the pace. Don't correct her version of the story. Don't beg to be understood. That's weakness disguised as logic. You don't need to win the narrative. You are the narrative. When you hold your energy like it's gold, when you speak like every word costs something, you become untouchable. That's when she feels it, that shift, that absence of need, that silence that screams, "I'm not the same man you left." You don't get respect by demanding it. You get it by embodying it. Control the frame by mastering your response. Your indifference is more attractive than your validation ever was. Number 6. Let your absence speak. Words are cheap. Presence can be ignored. But absence echoes. It gets under the skin. It lingers. When you go silent and stay gone, not out of spite but out of power, it forces reflection. See, your absence removes the emotional feeding tube. No more attention, no more reassurance, no more soft landings, and that's when reality hits her. You're not waiting anymore. You're not orbiting. You're gone. This is where most men fail. They break no contact because they confuse missing her with needing her. But there's a difference. Missing someone is natural. Needing them is weakness. Let your absence teach her that your time, your energy, your love, it was a gift. One she underestimated. One she assumed would always be there. Now she's left to sit with the version of herself that caused you to leave. That's the weight of real consequence. No lecture, no closure, just distance. And don't think she won't feel it. Women are intuitive. She'll sense the shift before she even sees the results. The silence will get heavier. The what-ifs will start circling in her head. She'll wonder why you haven't reached out, why you're not watching her stories, why your name hasn't popped up. That curiosity will become anxiety, and that anxiety, it's what makes her spiral. But none of that should matter to you now, because the point isn't to make her suffer. The point is to protect your energy. The new version of you doesn't move for breadcrumbs. He doesn't explain his absence. He lets the silence speak for him, and it says this: I've leveled up, and you no longer have access. Number 7. Rebuild without her blueprint. She was part of the plan. Maybe she was the plan. You pictured a future with her. The shared goals, the home, the life. And now, that whole vision just burned to the ground. Good. Let it burn, because now you get to rebuild, and this time without her blueprint. This is your life, your foundation, your path forward. And it doesn't include someone who couldn't see your value when it counted. You see, most men try to rebuild with the same architecture. They chase a new woman who reminds them of the old one. They hold on to the same fantasies, the same routines, just with a new name in the script. That's not healing, that's replacement therapy. What you need now is a complete recalibration. Start asking yourself, what do I want? What would I pursue if no one was watching? What life would I build if I stopped trying to impress her? Or anyone? Maybe that means switching careers, moving cities, taking risks, or simply getting still and facing the parts of yourself you used to bury in her presence. This is your clean slate. You're no longer building a life with someone, you're building a life worthy of someone extraordinary. And the irony? When you build from that place of independence and clarity, the right people start appearing, not because you need them, but because you don't. Let go of the idea that she was the one. She wasn't. The one doesn't walk away when things get hard. The one doesn't fold when they see all of you. She was a chapter, a lesson, a spark that set fire to the old version of you. Now it's time to rebuild from the ashes. Number 8. Own the narrative. You are not the victim. Stop telling that story. Stop repeating it to yourself. She did this to me. She changed. She ruined everything. No, she made a decision. And now, so will you. Because the most dangerous thing a man can do after heartbreak is give up authorship of his own life. When you keep replaying the betrayal, the lies, the confusion, you're letting her write the next chapter. Take the pen back. Everything you've been through, that's material, fuel, ammo. You can use it to drown or you can use it to climb. The difference is the story you tell. Do you tell it like a tragedy or a comeback? Because pain isn't the end, it's the beginning, if you choose to treat it that way. The Stoics believed you can't control what happens to you, only how you interpret it. That's the frame. You're not broken, you're being rebuilt. This isn't punishment, it's preparation. So shift the narrative. Stop saying, I wasn't good enough. Start saying, I was misaligned. Stop saying, she left me. Start saying, I was set free. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about reclaiming the power in your own story. Victims wait to be rescued. Authors rewrite the plot. And when she sees you again, whether it's online, in person, or just through the grapevine, make sure she doesn't recognize the man she left, because the man she left was wounded. The man you've become owns his life. He doesn't chase closure. He doesn't repeat old scripts. He writes new ones, better ones. Number 9, attraction through indifference. You want to know what truly pulls her back in, what makes her second-guess everything. It's not pleading, it's not proving, it's not showing her how much you've changed. It's indifference, real, earned, grounded indifference. The kind that says, I'm not angry, I'm not waiting, I just don't need you anymore. That's what flips the dynamic. Not fake detachment, not playing it cool while still obsessing. True indifference, the kind that only comes when you've done the work and moved on for you. See, most men think attraction is about saying the right thing, looking the right way, pulling the right string. But real power comes from not needing to pull anything. When you stop reacting to her, stop caring what she thinks, stop monitoring her emotions like they're your report card. She feels it, not because you're trying to make her feel it, but because your emotional leash is finally off. And when a man no longer chases, he becomes unpredictable, he becomes scarce, and scarcity is attractive. But this has to be real. You don't develop indifference by forcing it. You build it by putting your focus so fully on your growth, your path, your peace, that her validation becomes irrelevant. You wake up one day and realize she's not in your thoughts anymore. You're not trying to win the breakup, you're just living. And that's when she starts to spiral, because the one thing more unsettling than anger or sadness is your calm. Indifference doesn't mean you don't care about people. It means you care more about yourself than someone who walked away. That's the highest level of attraction, not needing to be seen. Number 10, she will spiral, you will rise. She made her move, she walked. Maybe she thought you'd chase. Maybe she thought she could upgrade. Maybe she thought you'd stay stuck. But what she didn't count on was silence. She didn't expect you to go ghost. She didn't expect the version of you that emerged after the pain. And now she watches. She won't say it out loud, but she's checking, quietly, through mutual friends, through burner accounts, through the digital shadows, and what she sees, it shakes her. Because while she was out there seeking attention, you were building. While she was testing your absence, you turned it into armor. While she expected you to crawl, you climbed. And that's when she starts to spiral, not because you tried to make her jealous, but because she sees a man who truly moved on, who evolved, who doesn't flinch when her name comes up. That indifference hits different, that glow up without explanation. That's what haunts her. And here's the truth. She may reach out, she may test the waters, say she misses the old times, wants to talk. But by then, the version of you she remembers won't exist. You won't need revenge, you won't need to prove anything, because you'll be too far ahead, too focused, too centered, and that's the real win, not her crawling back, but you not caring either way. She spirals, you rise. That's the natural order when you choose self-respect over desperation. When you walk the Stoic path with full discipline, you didn't chase, you didn't beg, you leveled up silently. Now you're untouchable. You made it. If you're still here, you're not like most men. Most click away. Most go back to chasing. But not you. You stayed. You faced the truth. You swallowed the hard pills and stood taller. That tells me one thing. You're not looking for comfort. You're looking for power, discipline, freedom. And now you've got the blueprint. 10 moves, 1 mission. She left thinking you'd fold. Instead, you forged something unbreakable. You didn't react, you rebuilt. You didn't chase, you leveled up. And maybe she'll come back, maybe she won't. It doesn't matter, because the point was never to get her back. The point was to get you back. This is Stoicism for men, not theory, not quotes on a page, but action, focus, silence. And now it's your move. Take everything you just heard and live it. Make it real. Let your transformation be so loud that her silence turns to regret. And your peace speaks louder than any apology ever could. If this video woke something up in you, don't stop here. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more. Turn on notifications so you never miss the mindset shift you need. And one more time, comment below. She lost me. I found me. Let the world know. The spiral started the moment you stopped chasing. Thanks for watching Stoic Blessing. Your comeback starts now.